We're here with the cast of the Night Shift Security. We're going to be asking them a couple questions today about the roles and the message of the film. The first question that I have is for Waverly Witkowski, who plays Julie Brooks. Can you share your thoughts on the importance of portraying domestic violence survivors in this film?
I think it's a topic that's not really discussed about a lot. It's still kind of a taboo subject. And I've been told by someone very close to me that artists are the foot soldiers of humanity. So it's kind of our responsibility to sit there and talk about those subjects that people aren't willing to address. And with domestic violence specifically, I think it's important that we portray that so that we can show others that it's okay to talk about it and hopefully bring that conversation. So if someone is really struggling with that, they know that it's okay to share it with somebody else and hopefully give them that help that they really need.
What message do you hope viewers take away from your character's journey?
I think we get really desensitized to violence and abuse in general. We see it a lot on TV, movies, everything. And just having everyone kind of take a step back and think about it more and think it's not really okay to actually see that in real life. And it's okay to speak up for those things and help end the cycle for others that are struggling with that. I've been dealing with that and seeing that constantly in their lives with other loved ones and bringing that into their own life. They've been dealing with that with others and with their past, and then bringing that into future relationships.
The next question I have is for Susan Chavez Anchia. She plays Sergeant Sophia Winters. What do you think is the significance of portraying a strong female security sergeant in this film?
I just love the contrast that we're showing. I think it was well played out, and the fact that we have a female that is being broken, that is, undergoing the abuse, feeling helpless. And then we have the contrast of the female that is in charge in an almost all male industry. You know, when you think of securities, you think of males. And then not only she's in security, but she's in charge. So I think that's, when I think of Sophia, I think of hope. You know, you have the person who's being beat down and broken, and then you have Sophia who's in charge. She's flourishing. She's magnificent at what she's doing. She's very knowledgeable. She's confident. So that to me shows the two sides. You know, you got somebody in darkness and you got somebody who overcame that darkness and now it's flourishing. Mm-hmm. So I think it was very smart to have her as a female.
Were there any aspects of the film that resonated with you personally?
Definitely. I'm actually a survivor of domestic violence myself. And I feel like Waverly said, there's not enough information out there for survivors and for people in general. I think that we have a voice, we have a story that needs to be told. And I'm very grateful that Korean gave me the opportunity to be part of this, because I feel like this is the beginning of something big that may be brewing for me as a survivor. I think that we need to be given that platform, that outlet to be able to speak up to our stories, especially for the people who are undergoing, male and female, the abuse on a daily basis. So definitely it was very dear to my heart. Very honored to be here. And I just hope that I know we're going to create awareness.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's the plan, right?
Yeah.
So next question I have is for Alexia Rivera, who plays the security dispatcher, Kimberly. How does your character as the night shift security dispatch contribute to the overall theme of teamwork and support within the security team?
Well, Kimberly, as a security dispatch, she is very supportive towards Officer James, and she's ready to go. She's right there listening to whatever he needs, and she's there, like, ready for whatever is going on, and to make it quick, to make it, we don't have time to waste. Something is happening. I'm going to send the people that are going to take care of the problem. So she's there, making sure that everything flows and that all the pieces are where they're supposed to be. Mm-hmm. So ensuring all the logistics so that he can do his job.
What approach did you take in portraying this role?
So I definitely take it very seriously. Mm-hmm. I think about my family. If a family member or friend was calling and saying like, hey, I'm going through abuse or something. I'm like, I'm not gonna just like sit down and wait for something to happen. I'm just gonna, send them the help right away, and I'm gonna get really serious about it. I'm gonna say, you know what? There's no time to waste because a person's life is at stake, is at risk. So nothing else matters than, what's going on at that moment. So I feel like if I put myself in the situation, like as a family member or friend, I can focus and, I don't worry about anything else that is happening.
The next question I have is for Axel Aponte, who plays Mark Rodriguez. How did you navigate the emotional complexities of playing such a dark character?
I've always played, like, so far, like, in the past couple years of acting, I've always been portraying villains as, so far. So it's kind of natural.
Especially in my films.
Yeah, so it's kind of natural. So far this year, almost all my characters are villains. So I grew up watching like Marvel and DC, like the comics, and I've always wanted to play like a antagonist or like an anti-hero type villain. So I just for me being in that, even though I'm like completely different than my characters, I've always wanted to portray something that's completely opposite of me. I think that's what sorry to say this, a real actor is.
Stretching your acting.
Yeah. So just like stretching my abilities, and I've playing a villain. There's always a challenge, whether it's physical, emotional. Like with the scene that we had where the abuse, it was hard. It really was. Like I was like, can I really do this? So it was tough, especially being in that position. Like, well, I'm actually gonna like beat somebody. Never been in that position. I don't think I would ever want to be in that position, never. But I think being able to just be in the moment was tough. And then just like controlling it, just controlling it when someone says action and then being cut. It's like, okay, what just happened? So it can get tense, and then it also can be like, okay, I need to have self-control because some of us do get carried away in certain situations. So I have trained my brain to being able, when someone says those things, like, okay, this is where you stop, this is where you keep going. If you don't hear it, keep going. But when you hear that word cut, that's when that's when my brain shuts off.
I see. The next question I have is for Miles Lavelle, who is the director, cinematographer, editor, and police officer. In directing and shooting the film, there was a lot of tension and urgency. How did you plan on visually representing that?
Well, I grew up a movie buff, watching movies with my grandmother, and I'm still a movie buff. I watch movies all the time. So it's just like, what scenes from movies made me feel suspense, in that situation. So I would just like have that in my mind. And it mostly has to do with like just where the camera's at, where you place the camera. For like example, like if it's a regular kind of calming scene, the camera doesn't move that much. But when the tension's building up, the cameraman moves with the character, kind of putting you inside the film. So I paid attention to details like that when I was watching some scenes that made me feel suspenseful. The interaction between characters and music plays a lot of, a lot in it. But yeah, things like that.
What is it like balancing being behind the camera and in front of the camera?
It's hard because, I'm very to me. And a lot of people always want me to explain how I do it. And I'm just like, I have no idea. Just like let me do it and then I'll show you what I mean. Like I did that with Kareem. I'm like, yo, do it, like grab the camera like this. And he's like, what? And I was like, okay, let me shoot it first and then I'll show you. I'm like, look, see, that scene is what I want, but with these characters in it. So it's things like that I do. It's hard for me to explain my work because I just go how I feel and have memory and how I would want a film to be made. So yeah, I guess thanks to Grandma for all those movies.
Thank you, Grandma.
Yes.
The next question I have is for Kareem Everson, who plays James Cooper, the night shift security guard. As the writer, executive producer, and the key character, how did you balance your multiple roles in production?
Miles helped me with everything.
Yeah,
No,
we
he
gotta
helped
be
me.
Batman and Batman.
Yeah.
He did help me. But so I wrote the project, and once I wrote it. You know what I mean? So now it's time to bring it to life. So now I'm playing the role of James, and I know how he's supposed to act in my mind because I wrote it. So I just put myself honestly in that character, and I allow Miles, like I said, I allow him as a director because he had the script. He knows my vision. I trust his vision. So I allow him to direct me in if I'm making a mistake, if I'm not doing something correctly the way it was written. So I allowed him to help me in that situation, and I just had a lot of fun playing this character, playing the hero. I love playing a hero, and with this project, I
So
really
y'all are opposites.
Yeah,
Y'all are yin and yang,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
That's why you work together
Yeah.
so much.
Yeah.
but
That
he
makes
makes a really
sense.
good bad guy.
Okay.
He's a really good guy.
Got it.
I would like to play a good guy sometime, you know?
Maybe one day you guys can switch roles.
like I was saying, I love playing a hero, and I love telling a story with it because I love action. I love fight
Mhm.
scenes, and I'm able to do that by being a hero. You know what I mean?
What motivated you to create a film centered around domestic violence awareness?
I wanted to showcase, like I wanted to bring awareness to domestic violence, but I wanted to also show respect for security officers because myself, I'm actually a licensed security officer. Like, and that's the reason why I cast Susan, because she's also a security in real life. So we do this, and a lot of securities don't really get the respect they deserve. You know, there's a lot of movies like, Mr. Blart. I'm not gonna say the name, but
Yeah.
they show security like kind of like a buffoon, which we're not. So in order for me to, basically, I wanted to show security in a respectful light. I wanted to show them in a good light, and I wanted to bring awareness to domestic violence as well, because like my cast have said, it's not something that's really spoken about in movies as much, and that's what I wanted to do when I created this.
It's a hard message, but it's one that
Yes.
we need to hear.
Yeah. And I also wanted to add some faith into it.
Mhm.
Yep.
So
Yes.
basically, so I'm a believer in Jesus. So basically, in the movie, you see there's a little faith aspect into it. So the Lord tells us how we're supposed to treat our wives and our girlfriends, and his character wasn't treating her the best. So I wanted the viewers, like if a little girl, or not a little girl, but if a young lady is watching this film and she's going through something like domestic violence, and she sees that, she may not even know who God is. She may not even know, she may not even be a believer, but just her seeing that and hearing that, it could open her mind to know, like, maybe this guy isn't the best person for me. Maybe I could make the better decisions in who I date, who I decide to marry. That's what I wanted to show them, that, I wanted to show viewers, like, domestic violence is not okay. And yeah, that's why we created this.
What was it like working with the actors that you cast to bring this project to life?
It was fun. I love
Yeah?
these guys. Like, no, seriously, everyone here is very talented, and I love working with them. It was a really, really cool vibe on the set, and it was fun. It was really fun.
I have a group question. I don't know how we want to gauge answering this. We don't have like buzzers or anything, but just whoever, feels the need to respond to it. This film addresses sensitive topics surrounding domestic violence and the roles of security officers. How did you all work together to ensure that the portrayal of these themes were authentic and respectful at the same time? How did you balance those things?
That kind of comes from me because I'm a little harsh, So it's like I go hard on these actors. Like, for example, Kareen sometimes have done scenes where I'm like, okay, I'll show you what you look like on camera, and you tell me if that's how you would want to see yourself. So I give people a chance to see themselves before they believe it's good, but what we see might not be good.
Yeah.
So I'm very hard on that. So it's like I'm very detail orientated because at the end of the day, this is kind of like a project, and the best thing we could do is at least give a really good performance. These actors really got into character. Naomi over there, she did amazing. Axel did amazing. They all did amazing. It was great to work with. They followed directions and order, and it took us some time to film it, but I'm just very picky with my work, and I also don't want to make Kareem look bad.
No, this guy, I look good regardless, but he made me look better. He did. Because so for me, I love acting, but I'm mostly a writer. You know what I mean? I write, I produce. So he really is sometimes when you write something and you act it out, it's a little different than what you're seeing in your head, because now you got to get into that character. You know what I mean? It's like you write something, you put it down.
Yep.
Now it's time to shoot. It's time to be that character. And Miles did help me a lot of times, like in the scene with me and Susan over here. Like there was a few times where like my character was supposed to be like listening to her, and I'm just staring at her like this, like I'm intimidating her. You know? So,
You're like, Kareem, you want to look like this? You want to look like
That's exactly. I was like, look.
Yeah.
You want that? You want that on the screen? Yeah. There always has to be somebody who plays devil's advocate, though, and to have that critical eye if you want to have the best product.
That's actually true, because I also do play that. I do an onset coach, so I would like to see the actors actually give out the performance they think they're giving out. Yeah. Bring that into life. Like I know a lot of right now, if we were to say action and someone has to cry, they're not really gonna give it their all until someone's like, you look like you're not giving it your all. Screw everybody that's in here. Yeah. It's just you is your moment. You go for it. It's pretty much that. Once you put your character, your actor into that, because they should be able to mold into that. That's what acting is. Mm-hmm. So when you're like, here, I'm not here, camera's not here. This is your guys' problem. You guys go at it. This is your guys' problem. You guys go at it, and I'll move around you guys, but just make it happen. And it worked like a charm, honestly. Yeah. It really did.
And also, like everyone here is easy to work with.
Yeah, really. That's the best part. Once you have a crew that's like easygoing and you treat each other right and we get along, it doesn't even feel like work.
And you guys have 2 security guards here too, so you're safe if anything.
One more thing. I gotta give this guy credit, Axel, man. Like, so me, I do stunts, I choreograph fight scenes. The fight scene in this project was amazing. It was a lot of fun because this guy, man, he's very talented.
He takes bumps, man.
Yeah, he does.
It was the extra muscle.
There's some bloopers where he actually took one to the nose. There's a blooper where
we've done a couple of films. He's actually hit me a couple times.
Yeah.
It sounds like
did you get the shot?
With it. No, wait. I think we did. I think we did get the shot.
Did you get the shot?
Yeah. Did you get the shot?
Yeah. Sometimes like, are you okay? Just keep going. Just keep doing this.
You're like swing at him and clip him, and then you be like, "You're good." He be like, "Yup."
I'm like out calling him like.
Were you rolling? Ah, shit.
It was awesome. It was really awesome.
And I asked this question to a couple of you earlier, but I wanted to open the floor up to anybody who wanted to answer. What message do you hope audiences take away from the film?
I hope they get a lot out of this film. There's action if you want action. There's a lot of heartfelt moments. There's a lot of real life serious situations. There's ways to show you how to get yourself out of a situation. And that's what I really want them to take away from this project.
Yeah. For me, it's like I said earlier, I want people to feel like they have hope, that they can overcome even the darkest crisis and become all that they want to be, because I think I speak for all of us. We want to be our best version, and we want to be, thriving. We want to be successful, and life happens. And then what? There's so many people out there hurting, feeling helpless, and we're believers too. We see life differently when we're believers. We see pain, we see the hurting internally, and I think this is almost like a way to reach out. So it's powerful.
We're all people. Like, even if you're not a believer, we're people. We all go through things. We all feel hurt. And we all want hope.
And not only the females, but it happens to men too. Yes. It is unspoken, and a lot of men go through domestic violence, and if you try to report it, oh, you're not a man anymore, right? Because you're not masculine enough. But either way, men or women, it's wrong.
And that was the cast of The Night Shift Security, which is premiering soon.
And that's a wrap.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.